Ah, nutcracker. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning into the Sack Wrap Boating and Fishing channel. If you're new here, welcome. I pretty much just work on boats, motors, jet skis, and do some fishing. So if you're into that, appreciate the support. Behind me here is my 1992 Wave Runner jet ski. It's a pretty nimble, lightweight jet ski, but it's been a little underpowered for my liking. I want something faster and bigger that is more comfortable for two people to ride on. So I may have impulsively just bought a new project. So here it is, guys. It's a 1997, I believe, GTS Seadoo with the trailer. So I only paid 300 bucks for this. It was a little impulsive, but the boat market and outboard market has been pretty crazy. So there's a bunch of crap that is selling for way overpriced. So I thought this was a good deal. I believe it's a 3-seater, 10 feet long. I mean, you can see it's pretty dirty. It was sitting outside for a while. I'll probably take off these Rockstar stickers. Yeah, the trailer's not too bad. It is missing the hubs that go over the wheel, but I mean, I paid 300 bucks. The trailer alone is probably worth at least 500. The biggest thing though with this project is that the Seadoo's missing its lanyard, and this model is a 97, I believe, and it requires computerized lanyard. But luckily I found a technician that said he can get it done, so hopefully he can fix it. But I might take a look inside the jet ski to see if maybe the lanyard went missing in there. As you can see, it requires a digitally encoded key. I believe after 1995, Seadoo made all their jet skis with digitally encoded keys, so I'm gonna have to get this figured out. And I like that this jet ski also has reverse. My other one just has forward. Alright, some of the stuff is really caked on. It looks like it was parked under a fruit tree or something, so it's kind of sappy. The pressure washer didn't get it off. So I'm gonna try some bleach, some barkeeper's friend, and scrub it off. Oh yeah, barkeeper's friend's working. After an hour of washing, it's at a more acceptable level. There's still a lot of crap on here from the sap, so I might just take this off and sand it. But yeah, just barkeeper's friend. I didn't even use the bleach, but looking a lot better. Alright, here's the first time me opening it up. It's a little dirty, but it's not terrible. See that connections are still in here, not broken off, for positive and negative. And the guy said he bought a new battery last year, but it looks pretty dirty though. I can give it a charge and see if it works. But the story I got is that he used it last year. It wasn't running right. It kept turning on and off. And then when he took it home over the summer, his kids were playing on it and lost the lanyard, and he just never got around to fixing it. But what sticks out is I'm seeing are these old gray fuel lines. I don't know if you can see it, but those are no good with ethanol fuel. That could have been the issue, could have been battery issue, who knows. I've been working on the jet ski for a couple hours, but forgot to film. First thing I did was I took off the old tires because there's a lot of sun damage and they're cracking really bad. So got my car jack here, jacked it up, took the tires off and went to Walmart and had them throw on some new tires on the rims, so looking a lot better. I also have a grease gun right here. I'm gonna grease the hubs because the bearings in there are probably pretty toast. It doesn't look like there's much grease in there, just dirt. Alright, there's a few things on my to-do list that I want to get done with the ski. One being using a heat gun that I have right here. I'm going to take off all these decals. I don't think there's the original ones because on the photos I've seen of this model, they don't look like this, and I think it just looks kind of bad. Also, I'm going to take off these Rockstar stickers. I pulled off this front seat. There is some cracking on the seat, so I'm gonna look for some marine fabric to refinish that. And here's the battery. The guy said he bought it last year. I mean, it looks pretty dirty, but it's been charging all day, so hopefully it's still good. So I'll throw a voltmeter on that. So yeah, the biggest thing to address are these gray fuel lines. These are the original fuel lines. From the research I've done, it seems that green slime builds up in those fuel lines because of ethanol in the fuel. So I have 25 feet here of some new fuel lines to replace that, since that stuff, I guess, comes up the carburetors, goes in the fuel pump and all that, and those are no good. Yeah, you can see it's just a jungle of these gray fuel lines, and I don't know if you can see way back in here, but it almost looks like there's some of that green sludge. Or it could just be two-stroke oil, not sure. I think this is the green sludge that I've been talking about from the forums that I've read. It's been on a couple of these lines. Never worked on Seadoos, but this looks like the carburetor air box. It took me a minute to figure out how these sliding clips work. There's like 6 of them that go all around the box. So I took that off, and then it looks like there's an air box with 6 screws that I took off also. So with that off, there's more gray fuel lines connected to the carburetor that I'm gonna have to replace. So with this new fuel line, I'm basically just gonna go piece by piece and just measure it out and cut them to size. Seems like the easiest way to replace these. Alright, finally got all the black fuel lines, replaced all the gray ones. Took me about an hour and a half. Kind of an annoying job, but got all the carburetor ones on too. What's up, guys? Just a quick little update. So today I finally got a key computerized lanyard for the Seadoo. So here it is. It's an aftermarket one. Thankfully, I found a Seadoo mechanic from Watercraft Works in Sacramento here. It's actually been a hard process to find a mechanic that will work on these older Seadoos. Most of the mechanics in the area, sounds like they only do the newer Seadoos. So yeah, shout out to them for helping me out. And upon going to the mechanic, it only took them like 5 minutes, and they fired it up for the first time and it ran. So I just got this crazy idea that worked. So instead of taking the whole carburetor off, I started off by taking off this hose connected to the carburetor, and then there's 4 screws right here that are connected to this part of the carburetor. So to get those off, they're in a really hard to reach place, so I got some heavy duty grips, and then I just slowly turned them, and once they got a little going, I just used my fingers and got them off. And so now if we take off this last bolt on here, instead of taking the whole carburetor off, now you're exposed to this fuel filter, excuse me, carburetor filter right here. It is pretty dirty, so this wouldn't have ran right. So I'm just gonna take some carb cleaner and then just soak it, and then use this to just clean out all the crap in the filter. Yeah, all this came out of that filter. Crazy how much dirt was built up in there. This is gonna be my first time firing it up. They fired it up for me at the shop, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna use a heat gun and a scraper to take off these old Seadoo stickers. Use a low setting. The letters are off on both sides, and I took off those Rockstar stickers. So I used some foaming bleach and just rubbed it on, and now it takes off the outline of those stickers. So here I have my siphon pump, and I took out all the 2-stroke oil here. As you can kind of look in the tank there, I could kind of tell it was kind of off color, a little green, and yeah, probably old, so good idea to take that out. Something I didn't know until doing more research was that you have to use specific 2-stroke oil, and you can't just use the cheap stuff, the TCW3 that you find at the store. So I picked up a gallon of this, so hopefully this helps the ski run good. I don't know whose idea it was to have these Allen screws Man, it's like IKEA furniture. It's such a pain to like get in here and use this. I mean, I've only worked on Yamahas for Seadoo, so definitely prefer Yamahas over working on these. All right, got the carb airbox back on, and if you look right here, this gray cover, there's two little white clips on each side that just twist, and then if you loosen it, this comes off, and that exposes this little grease fitting down in here. So you just take a grease gun and then grease that, and then you should see it starting to fill up right here. Keep that bearing on the drive shaft good. What's up guys, it's another day filming. Today I finally went to the DMV, got the 2021 tags and got it registered in my name, so it's legit now. If you're like me and you buy cheap boats and jet skis, typically the owner has usually lost the paperwork and, for instance, the keys. So you're gonna need a bill of sale from the previous owner, assuming they are the previous registered owner. On the bill of sale, you're gonna need at least a couple pieces of information for the DMV to allow you to use that as a form of getting the pink slip. One, you're gonna need signatures from you and the previous owner, and dated, the date you bought the vehicle you're buying, how much you bought it for, and the registration numbers on your vehicle and the hold number on your vehicle. So as long as you have those, you should be covered. I've done it a couple times this year and haven't had any issues with the DMV. Here's the old registration numbers. They're super cracked and faded and ugly, so I'm gonna take that off. Something that I've been noticing lately when I've been buying boats and jet skis are, I like to look at how many old and previous registration numbers there are. I mean, they're kind of stuck together, but I can kind of peel back, and at least to know that the previous owner registered it, every year, hoping that they took care of it if they took the time to register it, and did at least some maintenance to it, and it's not just been completely abandoned. Thankfully, when I went to the dealer, the Seadoo dealer, he hooked up his computer to it, and it only had like about 300 hours. So for the age of the ski, it's a 97, so that's only about like 10-15 hours a year, so it doesn't have too many hours on it for its year. Got some paint that seems to match the color of the jet ski, so I just started spray painting some parts, so letting them dry. Just use some old newspapers, and I got the seat here, and as you can see, it's pretty cracked, but this old leather is connected to the foam, so I mean, I took out all the staples. It took a while. You can see it just goes all the way around. There's like a buttload of staples, and I picked up some of this in white. This is a marine canvas from Hobby Lobby. It's pretty cheap, so yeah, I'm gonna try and wrap this and then restaple it. So I removed all the staples so I can just trace it over this, and there's about 1 inch or 2 extra here, so I'll count for that as well. Here's the chair all wrapped it in white, and just spray painted it. Just gonna let it dry, but I think it looks a lot better. So I wasn't feeling the purple seat covers. They're kind of sticky still, and decided to just go with black, and I got some better marine vinyl material here. So I just got a little box cutter, and I'm just gonna trace the outline of the seats for both of them. So yeah, here's the outline. Got my staple gun. I'm just gonna go around and staple the fabric to the seats. So I've been messing around for too long. Seadoo really dropped the ball on this front seat here. I mean, they have these cheap little plastic push pins that you have to like line up and then fit through these holes. And I've been trying, I tried having it like halfway in and then trying to slide it in, and then now I've taken them off and like put them in, but they're just so flimsy and plastic. They're impossible to fit on the holes on each side. So yeah, I have a bunch of random bolts here with some washers. So I'm gonna instead have that and then just feed that through the holes, and then just throw a nut on the other end and call it a day. All right, seat's on. It's pretty secure. I'm gonna throw some Loctite on the nuts on the bolts. All right, here's the jet ski looking a little cleaner. The seat's on as well. And finally got the registration stickers on. There's still some cosmetic stuff I wanna do. Maybe spray paint some of these side rails, and then this is so faded it actually turned blue. It's supposed to be purple. What's up guys, we're at the lake testing out the jet ski. We've actually been riding it for a couple hours, pulling the tube around and riding with my parents. Here it is. It's been running great. Just was having too much fun, forgot to record, so me and my mom are gonna go out and do some riding. My mom and I going for a ride out at the lake. 5-mile-an-hour zone right here, so we're gonna send it. Oh baby. This thing hauls ass. You good?
Yeah. Trying to stand up. This is very fun, I gotta say. How fast did you say we're going?
Well, right now we're going like 5 miles an hour.
But at our top speed, we were going what?
40 miles an
Like
hour.
40 miles per hour.
Maybe 45.
Maybe 45.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for a $300 jet ski, it's pretty fun.